Hey, welcome my friends, here I am. A little bit late, but oh, not too bad, 2 minutes past. It's within the bounds of acceptability in my book. Anyway, welcome. It is the 27th of January, 2021. Just here we are, chat with Matt, half an hour or so, more like 40 minutes in general, historically, more like 40 minutes. To shoot the breeze about whatever's going on for you, whatever you want to know about, whatever request or question you might wish to pose. We're here to serve you all. I have not yet quite got my stuff together here on my computer, so I'm just doing that as well. I'm not very good at talking and multitasking with electronics. That is the truth. Bright light beings, that's where we want to go. I want to get rid of that. I did know I've got a request. Yeah, we can close that. Request has come in via Messenger as well, so I'll open that so I don't forget. And then I'll scroll down and there's me live, which is great. And there's a thing. So Sister Sam posted in, no, it was Sister Christina, sorry. I get you two mixed up because you both sort of came along at the same time being friends from the UK. But Sister Christina posted an awesome, or shared a post that she had done to her own business page, because she is a facilitator as well, around laughter. And it reminded me that I posted the picture for Chat with Matt last week with the tui sitting on my head. Tuis is a songbird here in New Zealand that we raised from tiny chicks, featherless chicks. They were a miracle that they survived. That's for sure. Blown out of the tree, picked up by someone, brought to us, we were told they were starlings, because when they're babies, they're just all beak and feet. It's very hard to tell what they are. But anyway, they turned out to be tui. And at this point, when they're sitting on my lap in this photo, not when they're on my head, they're very obviously tuis because they've got a tui beak, but they've still got that big wide chick mouth that's designed for, easy feeding. I'm pretty sure at this stage we thought they were still starlings. Anyway, it's not a big deal. They survived. Jumpy's still around. This was 3 years ago. And Jumpy will still come down occasionally and land on your hand if you hold it out, especially if you've got a cup of honey water, which we give them in the winter. We put out for all the tui and bellbirds and different nectar eaters around, because nectar's scarce. Anyway, anywho, so that's the photo I posed. Manifest a miracle with laughter, which was part of the Joy package. Hey, Sister Sylvie. Part of the Joy, Fun and Purpose package. I can't remember exactly what I called it, but I know those 3 words were in it, right? To be joyful and to have fun finding your joyful purpose was basically, I did a whole package around that 3 odd years ago, or maybe it was 2 years ago. But anyway, so that's the photo I put up, stimulated by Sister Christina, around laughter, because she put up an awesome post around laughter here in this group. And so here we are. Lots of people are interested in this topic. So I'm going to read what Sister Sam wrote, who's kind of like Sister Christina's sister, but not really. And then I'm very happy to answer questions, because I just sort of skimmed through here. And there isn't really much of a question. There's lots of people, a lot of people resonating with the post, but not a lot of question. It was great, Sylvia. I'm glad you enjoyed those tracks, that package of MP3s. I'm pretty sure it's still available on my store, right? I'll have to have a quicker look before I start shilling it. Telling you all about something that I don't actually have up for sale anymore, but I'm pretty sure I do. For me, this is from Sam. For me, laughter is the permeating light that links all vibrations, bridging all experiences. It is the magic ingredient that can transform a tense situation into a more joyful, expansive one. Laughter has lifted me so many times. Laughter is such a beautiful expression of love that it ripples throughout our physical body and energetic field and reconnects us to the joy that can be experienced within our human selves if we choose to embrace it. Love this topic. Exactly. So for me, laughter's not always quite such an exuberant thing. Quite often, I find myself, when I'm breaking energy, a little bit dark in my laughter. I'm bringing this up because I believe I don't want people to set an unrealistic expectation of what laughter should be, because laughter itself is an awesome way of shifting energy, no doubt about it. Whether you're laughing because you are tense, whether you're laughing because you are nervous, whether you're laughing because you are legitimately joyful, whether you're laughing because you are I'm trying to think of that word that starts with S, sarcastic, right, to the current situation. It all works the same in a way. Like, obviously, when you really embrace joy and allow yourself to fully laugh, and allow the joy to ripple up, that is the best. That is the best for shifting energy. But any laughter is beneficial in allowing tension to break in the body, right? The laughing of relief. Thanks, Sylvie. Right, which can be more of a chuckle. Even just smirking and seeing the irony in a situation, right? Even just choosing to see the irony in a situation is beneficial, in my opinion, to breaking up the seriousness of what we are currently, or what you might be currently experiencing, and thus anything that breaks up seriousness will also break up the stress and allow you to move through the process more quickly. When you see the humor in the shit show that's going wrong in front of you, right? It's a laugh like that, right? The shit's going wrong, and you just go, "Oh, this is," and you laugh, right? Because it's almost farcical that it could go this wrong, right? That in itself is such a blessing. Now, I know we much rather laugh because things are joyful and we have manifested a beautiful outcome. But the truth is, we don't always get that opportunity. Any form of laughter is going to help you release seriousness, to relax your physicality, to relax your mentality, and to relax your emotionality. All of that relaxation helps to allow the energy that is perpetuating a situation to flow through and to bring relief and freedom to your experience. Like, someone forgives you and you laugh from not being judged. Yeah, we laugh lots of times. So it's interesting, right? Someone hurts themselves and kids will laugh. And are they being cruel? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe they're being cruel, but in some way it's innate to humans to use laughter to break up energy. So even when someone has an accident, even if someone has, something go wrong, you automatically find some humor in that. Not that it's funny that someone's hurt themselves, but it just automatically arises. And many adults, of course, judge themselves that this is a horrendous thing to do, to laugh at someone's misfortune. But what are you really doing when you laugh when someone has misfortune? You are breaking up energy. You're taking the seriousness out of the situation. You are shifting things so that it can transform. A lot of people see it as cruel. A lot of people see it as, it's been labeled as wrong and heartless and unkind. But really, the fact that little kids do it naturally kind of is the thing that might go, is it really wrong? Is it really wrong? Because why would kids do it naturally before they've been trained not to do it if it was so wrong? Hey, Sonia, how are you? So we're talking about laughter. We're talking about the way that we can use laughter to break up tense situations, to break up or to help us move through and to heal when we're having a hard time. I missed the comment from Sylvia. I'm gonna open it up down here so I can have a bit of go. Yes, laugh in the face of teenage self-entitlement. Yeah, and because it's good to help them realize how farcical their self-obsession is, and at the same time break up some of that energy. I just saw a very powerful IA incarnated in a robot. Isn't it AI, Sylvie? Artificial intelligence? Is that what you're trying to say? IA? incarnated in a robot who was asked make a happy face, and of course she is programmed to do something with her face easily on that topic, but she showed an angry face. Basically, the IA had humour. Is that how you say it in France, is it? Do you put it IA, intelligence, artificial? It's reversed in French. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, the IA is humour. Yeah, it's, you know, it's easy enough. It's easy enough to give these things. That's a whole off another topic. I don't know if I want to spin off down there right now. I'm not particularly. For me, now I'm going to keep saying this right. AI. I'm a bit out to lunch. Yeah, I'm a bit. I haven't really drawn hard conclusions around that yet. I can see huge potential for awesome things to come out of that, and I can also see huge potentials for less than ideal situations to arise from that. I'm not like of the ilk that this is going to take over the world and humanity is going to be created as a slave race to the computers. I don't really buy into that. But I can see in some ways that, these artificial intelligence and this robotics can go against us, but it's exciting at the same time. So I don't think. Christina, was that a comment on my hair looking fabulous? Oh my God. Hard to take that on. Yeah, and I'm not sure about that either, Sylvie, whether souls actually wish to incarnate with artificial intelligence. That is an interesting topic. Yeah, it is definitely an interesting idea of souls incarnating into non-biological entities. Yeah, not quite sure about that, and that's a very, very deep topic to start. Well, it's basically a topic that no one really knows the answer to. That's the point. We can all have our opinions, we can all have our experiences in meditation, we can all receive our guidance from various sources, but it's very, very, very hard to prove at this stage that a soul would be interested in incarnating or inhabiting a being that isn't alive. I don't know. My gut feeling is no. But anyway, I'm not about to open a real choose to laugh, right, Ashki? Hi, Matt Andrews. I want to laugh. So choose, right? There's no, don't feel lacking of laughter because it's available to everyone in every moment. I know emotionally we might not feel that it's easy to laugh in a particular situation, especially if we've been in a depression for a while. Or having a hard time, or locked into the seriousness of trying to achieve something. It doesn't have to be a depression, but even just locked into the seriousness. You can say, I want to laugh. I don't ascribe to wanting anything, right? Because as soon as you start wanting something, you're basically identifying what you lack, and you're saying you need that in order to be happy, or you need that in order to progress. And the truth is, you don't need anything, and you can choose anything. Right, you can choose it. You can choose to laugh right now, Ashki, and I know you'll laugh. It's awesome. So let it rip, sister. Just let it rip. Laugh. You desire to laugh, so choose to laugh. You don't need a good excuse. You really don't need a good excuse. You can choose to laugh at anything. So anyway, I'm going to get on to another question while someone might ask something. But this came from Sister Julie in my messenger. Why do potential miracle unfoldings trigger past trauma or limiting patterning? How to use laughter in there. Okay, so this is very, very common. So this is specifically for Julie's case. I met a guy, deeply miraculous feeling, then been ghosted. So now worth feeling shaky, but also feeling grief. So yes, when a miracle arises that we don't feel, awesome, my pleasure, Ashki. Laughter is freedom indeed. It is, Sonia, it is. Laughter is definitely a pathway to freedom from the seriousness that creates contraction and stress, that then results in a narrowing in of our intuitive ability to be present in any situation, right? When we get so seriously, we contract, and then we basically cut ourselves off from all of our input and all of our life force, and shit goes downhill from there. So laughter is a great way of expanding ourselves back up and allowing much more energy to flow in so that we can engage with whatever challenges we have in a much more empowered way, rather than getting all serious about trying to solve the problem. Generally leads in a much narrower pathway of potential solutions, which ultimately doesn't bode well for a great solution. So anyway, so this is a great question. Why do potential miracle unfoldings trigger past trauma and limiting beliefs, right? Because when you get something that you still hold a belief system from where, however it was formed, that you're not worthy to have something, then a protest arises within you, because there has been now there is a disconnect between what has happened and what you believe can happen. That creates a cognitive dissonance inside of yourself. And while the part of your ego might be overjoyed that something great has happened in your life, there's a part of your logical self, there's a part of your egoic self that goes, no. If we let this happen, that destabilizes our whole structural system. That destabilizes all of our belief systems. If we could truly be that wealthy, if we could truly have a relationship that is that loving, that would ruin a lot of the stories that I've used to contextualize the world. And I'm not sure, as the ego, I'm not sure I'm willing to let that happen, right? Because with that destabilization to my view, my perspective of the world, if I was to lose that key narrative in how I contextualize my world, I might feel very lost, and that might be very dangerous. So there is this self-sabotage shit that goes down with us humans all of the time when we start having experiences that are beyond what we are comfortable in having. Now, comfortable in having, I'm not talking about what our desires are, what our heart wants, but I'm talking about what our ego believes we can have safely. And safely is a very interesting term in terms of what the ego believes, because we're not just talking about physical safety here, we're talking about mental stability based on understanding the world. We all think we need to understand the world. This is where we all fall down as humans. We think we need to understand the world in order to be safe. Therefore, we've built a whole heap of rules around how the world works, which includes a lot of belief systems about where we stand in the world and what we can have and what we can't have, and you know, what we're entitled to and what we're worthy of, and all of this stuff that's happened through past experience, and we've mainly stored it away subconsciously, right? Consciously, we might be thinking differently. Consciously, we might be doing affirmations and all sorts of stuff to try and break through that. And we do have a miraculous outcome, and then that triggers the deep-seated wounds almost that have formulated those belief systems to really rise up as a protest. This actually is an awesome event. Uncomfortable, especially when you have something where you seem like you've attracted something awesome into your life, and then it gets snatched away, right? You seem like you've just won lotto, and then somehow you manage to fucking squander it, lose it, right? Or you've just met someone, and then some random argument breaks out, and shit hits the fan, and misunderstandings happen in both directions, and it blows up, right? And it's like, oh my God, what happened? Why? Like, I finally met someone who really was aligned with me, and there was great potential for a relationship, and then this random unfolding happened to sabotage it. I know that seems like a real bummer, to say the least. Seems like a real shame. Seems like very bad luck. But what it is basically going through a process. And if you can maintain an empowered attitude to that and go, wow, that was me clearing a lot of what I'm still holding inside of myself. That was me obviously seeing the belief systems that have run my show, my narrative, for a long time. I'm describing all of our lives, Michelle. All of us have this. All of us have this in different things. It's not just with relationships. It can be with money. It can be with our health. It can be with our spiritual evolution as well, right? I see this happening in meditative experiences, right? You finally have an experience, and then, it contracts around you because you get scared of it, right? You sabotage it. You've been wanting to have a deeper connection with God forever. And then it starts to unfold, and then all of a sudden you're It's too scary, too dangerous, not good enough, right? I'm not capable. This could happen, that could happen, all sorts of. So we see it happening in multiple ways through life. That this is the process. This is the process that we're all getting better at of moving through, because our happiness is not on the other side of clearing all of our shit. Our happiness is not on the other side of attaining a life where there's no more triggers, where there's no more challenges, where there's no more density inside of ourselves. If you need that to be happy, then good luck to you, right? You're not going to be happy this lifetime, likely not going to be happy this lifetime if that's what you need. What's more important is that we find a happiness in the progression through the process, and we allow ourselves to maintain a positive attitude to these uncomfortable experiences of allowing ourselves to take 2 steps up and to get bashed 3 steps down, only to find more strength and more clarity in how to step up yet again, right? How to get higher up. So there's this process that, some describe as the roller coaster, you can describe it in various ways, but there are a lot of ups and downs in our spiritual progression, in our life progression, in our unfoldment of allowing ourselves to become quote unquote successful, whatever success might be for you, whether we're talking external or whether we're talking internal. It's a push through the ceiling and it's a squash back down, and a push through the ceiling and a squash back down. This is not God manipulating us. This is not someone testing us. This is not hey, Sister Emily Rose, this is not some external entity mucking with us. This is the process of us clearing our residues from the last 5, 6, 7,000 years or so of dark times. And of course, there are some residues from prior to that, we had some hard experiences in times of high light as well, but many of us have a very strong residue of not worthy based on 5 or 6,000 years of turning up on this planet as a light worker in times when it was very dark and feeling like a failure. Many of us have been captured, tortured, reprogrammed. Many of us have been humiliated. Many of us have had all sorts of horrendous experiences over this, several hundred lifetimes potentially, or maybe 10 lifetimes. Doesn't matter how many lifetimes you've had in this era of time. Many of them have been very hard, and so we're carrying residues of that. And various discordances, and we have developed coping mechanisms. This is coming back to Julie's question. We have developed coping mechanisms around dealing with these discordances within us, so we contextualize them to make ourselves be okay with it. We create a narrative to help explain why we don't have good luck, or help us explain why we don't get what we want. And many of those narratives are self-defeating, right? And then they play out over and over and over again, because what we believe is influencing how the energy can show up. And then we have quote unquote a miracle. Now, a miracle really is just an outcome that is beyond what we believe possible, right? It doesn't have to defy the laws of nature to be a miracle. This is the point. For us personally, a miracle is, for what is a miracle for someone would be an normal everyday occurrence for someone else, right? That's the point. Miracles are very personal, and that's okay, right? We don't need to put them in a miracle label bucket, right? Oh, that is a legitimate miracle. There is that thing around, right? But what I'm talking about here in this post and in other things is a miracle is just something that happens beyond your belief of what can happen. And your belief of what can happen has been influenced by your history of what you have habitually had happen, right? So many people would find it a miracle for them to get a car park right outside the front of the shop that they want to go to. And other people, that's a normal occurrence. Like Marie, my wife, that's a normal occurrence. She calls to the parking angels before she leaves home where she's going, and she wants a spot out the front, and she 9 times out of 10 gets it, right? And if it's not there, she'll go around the block and then it's there on the second time, right? Parking spot right outside the front, because that's her expectation, that's her belief, and so that's what keeps happening. For other people, that would be a miracle. Oh, it's a miracle, you got to park right out the front. But so I'm just trying to illustrate a point. We're not going into parking and the parking angels, but the point being is to understand that a miracle is just beyond your belief system, and all it really needs to change is your belief system, and what was once a miracle stops being a miracle. The problem with a miracle is once it happens, it triggers your belief systems and points out that your belief system might not be true. The great thing about a miracle is that it triggers your belief systems and points out the fact that your belief systems might not be true. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because when we have our belief systems shown to be not true, that gives us the opportunity to expand into more expansive belief systems, and it also hurts. It hurts our ego, because if our belief system's not true, then it shakes our whole foundation, especially if it's a big belief system, especially if it's a belief system that other belief systems hinge on, right? Because we have this hierarchy of belief systems, coming right down from the fundamental belief system. Is the world safe or is the world dangerous, right? Fundamental belief systems, perspectives on how we do the world, right, that then influence all other belief systems. Does money grow on trees, or can money come easily? Can money come easily, or does money need to be earned through sweat, right? All sorts of belief systems that are built on primary belief systems. And when we start challenging our narrative, our belief system around how the world works and how our place in the world and what can happen to us comfortably, then there's this destabilization that happens egoically, mentally, with how we view the world, and that can be hard to navigate. Because we feel very unsafe if our belief systems aren't holding true. If our structure is looking shaky, we feel inherently unsafe, and that's difficult. In the Course of Miracles, it is defined as a shift of perspective. Yeah, right, that's a miracle. Awesome. Master Jesus had a big part to do with the Course of Miracles, so it's an awesome body of work that I've never read, and it is maybe on my bucket list one day. I thought about doing it a couple of years ago, and then I've sort of felt that it might overly influence me in my ability to just allow what normally flows through my mouth, because it is such a interesting work, and my mind loves those. I've heard it's all sort of a bit riddlish, written in riddles, and my mind loves that too. So it's a little bit dangerous for me, A Course in Miracles. So I haven't engaged with it because I like to feel confident that I'm bringing through my truth rather than replicating something that I've read. That's just the nature of being a channel. But I think over time I'm getting more and more open to being able to read more stuff without losing my confidence to it. Anyway, I'm going to read a little bit lower what Sylvie wrote. When I hear people talk nearby, whomever that is, I have this fear that I am being guilty of something they are talking about since a very young age. I catch myself trying to listen to what they say, and I still misunderstand them talking, making me guilty. I didn't manage to release that yet. Awesome, Sylvie. This is also common. This is a leftover of, the way that society was manipulated and is still being manipulated. We see this come up again with the COVID thing, that the authorities know that they really don't have the ability to police what they want to have happen. They don't even necessarily need to make it law, but they put it out there to the general population that it's dangerous for people to be a certain way. And then the population buys that up and starts looking to dob each other in, right, to stay safe as a society, right? This narrative is created that other people are dangerous in society and you need to dob them in if they're doing dangerous things. So we saw this through the quote-unquote witch trials, which many of us fell foul to, that anyone who was practicing any sort of self-care outside of the church and helping other people with self-care, e.g. eating the right food, taking herbal supplements, anything like that, we were dobbed in as witches and then tried and burnt and all the rest of it. So there is definitely, many of us have insecurities around other people talking behind our back, and maybe they're saying something about us. Maybe they notice that we're different. Maybe they notice that we're not fully complying with the fear-based agenda that's being perpetuated upon us, right? And so, enjoy, Sonia. Enjoy. Go well. So this is quite common, that many people feel insecure when others are speaking that you can't quite hear, but you have a feeling potentially they might be talking about me, and they might be judging me, right? Being judged by others definitely has a level of fear that many people carry. So identify it for what it is, and then when it comes up, just awareness is the key, right? So when you're aware of what's coming up, you can choose consciously to recognize it And not to berate yourself for doing it again, but to just go, oh, that's what I'm releasing, right? I'm aware that I'm what is that? Not guilty. What is it when you are worried that someone's talking about you? Oh, fuck. Lost it. Someone else will tell me in a minute what that word is. Not insecure. Something like that, though. Bugger, I hate it when I lose words. But anyway, so, yeah, we all get a little bit... So, yes, it's a matter of recognizing that there's a state of fear arising. I'm still looking for that fucking word. No, I'll let it go. Paranoia, thank you, that'll do. Paranoia. Yes, Emily and Sylvie. Yeah, there's a level of paranoia that arises that other people might be doing this, other people might be doing that, and it's very easy for that to, for the mind to start looking for proof that they are or they aren't, and you want. You can't just trust, you can't just relax, you can't just go, so what? Because we've had experiences where real bad things have happened in the past, but it's unlikely that it happens so bad today, and yet, and of course, if we're carrying the paranoia, of course, we can instigate, because what we believe or what will manifest, we can get judged, and we could even be somehow punished, persecuted, or in some way affected by other people's judgments. So we just let it go. Awareness is key to everything. Once you're aware that a certain behavior is arising, then you have the opportunity to take some deep breaths, to relax out of it, to remind yourself what's happening. Oh, I'm releasing this past life habit. I'm releasing this low self-worth. I'm releasing this seriousness around this. I'm releasing this fear. Awareness. I had a yoga teacher, Swami H, we used to call him. His full name was Hari Haranand, which basically means God bliss. He used to answer questions when people asked him questions after our meditation class. He would tell a story where the disciple came to the guru, and all the guru would say was 3 things: awareness, and send them on their way. He loved that story. So basically stating that everything begins and ends with awareness, right? And if you don't, what's the right word? Dedicate a lot of your time to lifting your state of awareness, then every other practice is worthless on top of that. If you don't have the awareness, right, and choose to exercise awareness like a muscle, choose to really cut deep into the awareness of what is happening beyond the narratives, right? When you really allow yourself to develop deeper awareness through various practices of choosing to be aware, basically, through meditation or introspection or extrospection, viewing the world, right, with a desire to actually cut in a little deeper, not to torture yourself trying to understand it, but with a deep desire to be aware of what is going on. When you really develop your awareness, it gives you such an edge on progressing with everything else, because it's the fundamental, it's the foundation, right? And if you're not aware of what's going on, then the witness observer, if you're not aware of what's going on, then you're the victim of it, right? Then it starts to run your programs, right? Rather than you recognizing it as something that's coming up that you can consciously intentionally choose to let go and release. How am I going for time? I'm nearly up. I just want to cut back to Julie's question, because I'm not sure if I fully answered it. But anyway, I think I answered why do potential miracle unfoldings trigger past trauma? I think I've done that. How to use laughter in there. So when shit goes wrong, right? And I know it's hard to laugh when you meet a special guy and you've been looking for deeper relationship for a long time, and you've been also looking for that deeper level of community for a long time, right? People who really get you, and you finally find something that feels like it, and all of a sudden it gets ripped out of your hands. It's hard to find the humor in that. But if you allow your more dark side of your humor, right, where you see it for what it is, and you go, oh my God, this is just my patterns playing out again, and you laugh, you actually break it up. Because when you get real serious, when you get real disappointed, when you get real right, that's it, I'm going to fix this fucking pattern, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. When you embrace that energy, right, I'm sitting down a strong man, table thumping, that's it, no more of this, right, I'm finished with that behavior. That doesn't actually help. It doesn't actually help. It actually, because now you're fighting against it. And what you fight against, you feed, and what you feed will grow stronger. When you don't fight against your bad habits, when you don't fight against your low self-worth, when you don't fight against your, paranoid illusions, then you laugh instead and go, oh, so I'm listening to these people, I'm listening to these two old ladies in the back of the bus trying to think if they're talking about me. Of course they're not talking about me, they probably don't even see me, they're too busy talking about their friggin' pumpkins they're growing or whatever, right? When you catch yourself, you're aware of it, and then you laugh because even though you might laugh and cry at the same time, in this case, Julie Ray, because, you really didn't want to, miss out. You really felt that this was an opportunity to move into something that you deeply wanted. But when you laugh, you give yourself a much better chance of shifting this energy and actually aligning yourself so you can have that outcome. The fact that it arose to start with, the fact that this guy turned up and you actually met someone who did fit the bill is an awesome progression forward. So don't feel ripped off about that. A lot of people try to avoid disappointment in their lives, and so they don't want to have such experiences where they see something that they've always desired and then have it snatched away from them. They think that that's a bad thing to happen because it hurts. But the point is, that is the pathway to actually having it. We must be willing to step through various disappointing experiences to build the foundation for us to actually align with the energy of having it. So if you're trying to avoid disappointment in your life, you're going to cut yourself off from having good outcomes. That is just the nature of it. And this is especially true in deep, heartfelt relationships. We must be willing to open our heart, and we must be willing to be hurt in doing that. It's not that we're going to be damaged. It's just that we're going to feel pain. We're going to feel disappointment. We're going to feel uncomfortable in the fact that our not good enough gets shown to us, our low self-worth gets shown to us, our abandonment issues get shown to us. In the process of clearing them away, in order for us to really be in the energetic space where we can have deep relationship in a very healthy way, not sacrificing myself to keep this relationship. I'm not going to bend down and bow down and just try and keep pleasing this person so that they accept me and I can have relationship with them. That will always end badly, right? So we must be willing to have the disappointments on this process of stepping into the miraculous outcome that we desire, miraculous in inverted commas. So laughter plays a role in that we can laugh in the face of disappointment. You really can laugh in the face of disappointment. And when you get disappointed and you laugh, you basically are breaking the importance of not being disappointed, right? You're breaking the importance of having the outcome. You are disconnecting the idea that my happiness is in the outcome, and you are choosing to be happy right now. Laughter is a sign of happiness. And even if you're laughing ironically, even if you're laughing with a little bit of a dark, sarcastic tinge to it, it is basically choosing to be happy despite the fact you didn't get the outcome you desired. You're basically saying, F you, outcome, I'm not dependent on getting the outcome, and therefore you're much more likely to get the outcome. That's the truth of it all. Awesome, my friends. Thank you, Michelle. Anyone else? Thanks, Sylvie, for your input, and everyone else who partook. Sister Christina, I'll read this too. Hopefully you will reach the point where you won't even wonder if they're talking about you. Their opinion of you just doesn't matter. How you live with yourself is all that matters. Yeah, exactly. But you have to understand, many of us, even though we can very much understand that, many of us have all sorts of idiosyncrasies programmed in from past lifetimes. And it's not a matter of hoping that behavior goes away or that trigger point goes away, because in hoping that it goes away, we lose our power to it. What we have to do is just get to the point where we cope with whatever it is. I don't feel good enough about myself quite regularly. Building this deck just out there has given me so many opportunities to not feel good enough. It is almost crazy. But but there's quite a bit of laughter that goes on, and sometimes it is quite sarcastic. You fucked that up again, Matt. Right? So, but I'm recognizing and aware that what I'm doing is I'm constantly triggering my deepest wound that has been left over from some very, very harsh experiences that are still, I won't say plaguing me, but still haven't gone away. And yet I keep showing up good enough. I keep showing up good enough, even though I have these feelings that I'm not. So the point is, my friends, the freedom is not in the absence of the behavior. The freedom is in your ability to experience the behavior and not be overly influenced by it. And I know that is a hard concept to get because we've been trained the other way. We've been trained to think that we need to fix things in order to be happy. We need to have got rid of that. We shouldn't worry about what other people say about us. We shouldn't be jealous of what other people have. Oh, but we are. You should be grateful all the time because look at what you've got, but I don't feel grateful, right? When you keep denying the experience you're having with these shouldn'ts or these shoulds, then you basically keep pushing yourself down the hole. So it's much better to accept, oh, I feel paranoid when I hear people talking because they might be talking about me, but that's not the truth. I recognize that, but I still feel paranoid when they do it. And yet I recognize that paranoia now and I don't let it influence me. I don't strain to hear them anymore. I just notice it and I giggle to myself. Oh, look, I'm trying to listen to them because I'm paranoid because I got burnt at the stake last lifetime for, by two old women talking about me thinking I was a witch because I was carrying a basket full of herbs. Right? So recognizing it for what it is and then not thinking that we need to get rid of that behavior because that behavior is not right. We understand that that behavior is there because we've had experiences in past, which might be this lifetime, might be before, that have created that influence that perpetuates that behavior. Oh, I don't feel good enough about myself because I failed many times in doing what I set out to do. In other lifetimes, I got captured by dark beings, held in a dungeon for a long time, tortured in all sorts of inhumane ways, and told how not good enough I was, told how God had forsaken me, told how I wasn't really a being of light, right? For months before dying. So when you recognize that that's what's influencing you, and yet you don't let it overly influence you. It's over influencing how you feel, but it's not influencing how you behave. And as we slowly but surely get very strong in that, then those voices in our head, those feelings have less and less influence and they fade away. So yes, hopefully we do become free of it over time, but we don't need to become free of it in order to be free of it, right? Because all that matters is how much is it influencing your behavior? How much is it influencing your ability to be happy, right? And when you can be happy despite the fact you're having discordant feelings, when you can be happy even though you're having discordant thoughts, then you've won the game. You have won the game. That's it, my friends. Much, much love to you all. Namaste. I will speak to you again soon. I've just realized I've got a thing flashing up. I've got a call in 15 minutes. I better get myself sorted for that. If you need any help, that's the other thing I've got to talk about. We've got full moon happening in 2 days' time, and I have not yet advertised it. I have created the thing, but I haven't friggin' put it out there. So that is coming this morning as soon as I was supposed to do it last night. I got caught up doing other things, taxes actually. My taxes done. But amongst other things, amongst the fact that I was working on my deck till 8 o'clock at night, which is going very, very slowly, doing all the intricate parts around these stairs, lots of 45 degrees and 22.5 degree angle cuts and everything. But anyway, so look out for that. We will be meeting in less than 48 hours now. It's like 46 hours time. I think I'm doing it at 8 a.m. in the morning. In 2 days' time. Full moon, light language call, free to everyone. Very happy to have you along. We're going to be working with joy and I can't remember all of it. Creativity. I remember joy and creativity. There was something else in the title. It might actually fit in with laughter. Probably does. I remember I looked at the astrology a couple of weeks ago and went, oh, that fits. That's beautiful. That's great. Let's do it. So we've got that full moon call coming up in 2 days' time. I will advertise. Much, much love to you all. If you do have any other questions, any other concerns, need some help with something, just reach out, email me, message me, post something in the Facebook, post something. If you're watching this on YouTube, put a comment in and I'll get it. Right, and I'll reach out to you. I think on YouTube, if you look down, there will be the link to the website and you can just go there and send me a message from the website in the Contact Us tab or whatever. So there's always ways to get a hold of me. Don't be shy. I'm here to serve. Much love. Bye for now.